His disciples honored the Sabbath after his death their entire lives. Jim, there's no way the disciples actually kept the Sabbath. Well, let's find out. In Luke 23, verse 56, it says this. Then they went home and prepared spices and perfumes. But this is right after Yeshua died. But they rested on Shabbat. They rested on the Sabbath in obedience to the commandment. So here you have Mary and Martha, some of the disciples of Yeshua. They followed Yeshua. And I'd imagine the rest of the disciples are doing the exact same thing. They had to get him into the ground because the next day was the Sabbath. Now, that particular day, when he died, the next day was the Feast of Unleavened Bread. It was a high Sabbath. And then you had Friday in between there. They bought the spices on Friday. Then they had to rest for the weekly Sabbath. Now, why would they be resting if they're not obeying the Sabbath? They are literally, after the death, they are obeying the Sabbath. And I'm going to suggest as we move through here, you see many more times where it's alluded to that they actually kept the Sabbath, that they did not get the memo that Yeshua sent them saying the Sabbath was done away with because there was none. 1 Corinthians 7:19 says this, circumcision is nothing and uncircumcision is nothing. Keeping the commandments of God is what counts. Do you hear what Paul is saying here? Paul is saying that, listen, he's talking about salvation, and there's a big debate on whether you can be saved if you're circumcised. And this is the way that he would have said it, because this is the context. Circumcision means nothing. Uncircumcision means nothing. Both of you guys are wrong. Neither one of them are required for salvation. What really matters is keeping the commandments of Yahweh through faith. The same message that Yeshua gave, the same message that Yahweh gave on Mount Sinai, and the same message that he gave to Adam in the garden. Continuity. God never changes. He always remains the same. Paul says in Romans 3:31, do we then nullify the law by this faith, the faith of Yeshua? Not at all. Rather, we uphold the law. So we have Paul in Romans chapter 3, verse 31, telling us that he upholds the law. Let me ask a question, maybe even a bit of sarcastic question, is would anyone remotely insinuate that when he says that he upholds the law, that he is not referring to the Sabbath as being part of that law when it's the top 5, number 4 on the charts, if you will? Of course, he is certainly, in the back of his mind, the Sabbath being the most staple of all laws in the first century in Judaism would certainly be what he's talking about. He would not be saying that I'm going to uphold the law, but I'm going to break the Sabbath, and he would not be upholding the law. Come and join us as we travel back in time 4,000 years ago to discover exactly where the holidays of Christmas, Easter, and even Valentine's Day come from. Why do we celebrate the birth of Jesus on December 25th? Whose birthday really is on December 25th? Where did we come up with December 25th? Where did the star on top of the Christmas tree come from? Where did the Christmas tree itself come from? Where did St. Nicholas come from? Are we sure that St. Nicholas even existed? Have you ever wondered where the famous phrase, ho, 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 comes from? It comes from the late 1600s when they used to have plays, and before the devil would come on stage, he would announce himself by saying, ho, ho, ho. Did you know that original Santa's elves weren't little guys that made toys? They were Krampus demons that would punish the children if they weren't good for that year, while St. Nicholas would give them gifts if they were good. Who is the Easter Bunny? Where did we get Easter eggs from? Why do we celebrate Easter on the first Sunday after the vernal equinox? Did you know that Christmas was illegal in the United States until the mid-1800s? Can we celebrate these holidays according to the Bible? This is by far the most popular video on the internet on the history of Christmas and Easter. This video has changed hundreds of thousands of people's lives, and it will change your life too.